All right, Shalom. First off, I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh Shah being the name of His only begotten Son. Double honor unto the elders and the apostles of great millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. All right, this is the brother Masha, one of the men coming up under the branch I in the morning camp. Here with a quick lesson. And this one is going to be concerning the topic of the Gentiles, okay? Because it was a precept I read or that I came across, pretty much going into that foolish nation. But without further ado, we're going to get right into it. I think first I'm going to read it in Deuteronomy 32 to show that it was a prophecy. This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, and starting at verse 21. Deuteronomy 32 and 21. And it reads, "They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not the Most High. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with the foolish nation." All right, and ultimately, this once again, this was fulfilled in the time when Paul was on the scene. Okay, because because another quick precept I want to grab real quick is Matthew. So like not Matthew, John 7 and 35. So like John 7 and 35. Because when Yahushua came, at first the disciples were asking him, and matter of fact, we'll read it. We'll just read it. I'm gonna get it in my book real quick first. There we go. John chapter 7 and verse 35. Then said Yahushua unto them, Yet a little while I am with you, and then I go unto him that sent me. Ye shall seek me and shall not find me, and where I am, thither ye cannot come. Then said the Jews among themselves, Whither will he go, that we shall not find him? Will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles? All right, so right here it's saying, is he going to go onto the dispersed of the nation of Israel among the Gentiles, all right, and teach the Gentiles? So right here it's showing you that it's speaking of two different types of Gentiles, all right? Because it said the dispersed among the Gentiles. So, because ultimately, like it says in Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Let's grab that. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Okay, so this is a prophecy for Jake going off, okay? The punishments, right? That they were going to be scattered among these other nations and they're going to serve these other idols. All right. So, and eventually that happened. All right. So, when we go, as I said in Deuteronomy, that foolish nation. All right. When we jump to the book of Acts, okay. Acts chapter 9 and starting at verse 11. All right. Because this is when the Lord came unto Paul. Okay. And this is when when Paul was supposed to be sent, or when Paul was going to be sent and go on to the Gentiles. All right, but ultimately it started with Cornelius. All right, when Peter went on to him, but Paul was the one that was he was the vessel used to go preach the word unto them, right? Let's get that in. I'm gonna get it in the book. This is Acts chapter 9 and verse 11. And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the street which is called Straight, and inquire in the house of Judas for one called Saul of Tarsus, for behold, he prayeth. And he had seen in a vision a man named Ananias coming in, and putting his hand on him, that he might receive his sight. Then Ananias answered, Lord, I have heard by many of this man how much evil he had done to thy saints at Jerusalem, and here he hath authority from the chief priests to bind all that call on thy name. But the Lord said unto him, Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel. For I will show him how great things he must suffer for my name's sake. All right, so right here it mentions Gentiles too, right? So here in this case, it's not talking about because it said what? For he is a chosen vessel unto me to bear my name before the Gentiles. All right. That's why when we jump to Acts 13, all right, in Acts 13 and 44, this is actually what it's talking about. All right. This is Acts chapter 13 and verse 44. The next Sabbath day came almost the whole city together to hear the word of the Most High. But when the Jews saw the multitudes, right? The multitudes, okay, these are the Gentiles scattered among these other nations, right? They were filled with envy, all right, fulfilling that Deuteronomy 32, right? They were filled with envy and spake against those things which were spoken by Paul, contradicting and blaspheming. Then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said, It was necessary that the word of the Most High should first have been spoken to you, but seeing ye put it from you and judge yourselves unworthy of everlasting life, lo, we turn to the Gentiles. Okay, so that's what what it was going into. All right, provoking them, okay, the Jews who knew that they were Israelites, okay, to jealousy by a foolish nation being these Gentiles. All right, and even when we go to Romans, all right, when we go to Romans 10. It further puts the nail in the coffin, okay? Romans 10 and 18. Matter of fact, because I underlined it in my book, so there's a certain point I want to grab. Right. So Romans 10 and verse 19. I'm gonna get to the point. Romans 10 and 19. But I say, did not Israel know? First Moses saith, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people, and by a foolish nation I will anger you. All right. So this is once again he's recalling in the Old Testament what was prophesied in Deuteronomy, right? But Isaiah is very bold and saith, I was found of them that sought me not, I was made manifest unto them that asked not after me. But to Israel he saith all day long, I have stretched forth my hands unto a disobedient and gainsaying people. Right. So when you jump to the 11th chapter, all right, and I'm gonna get to the point. Yeah, I'm gonna start at 9 and just get to the point. Romans 11 and 9. And David saith, Let their table be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense unto them. right? So this is speaking of the Israelites that know that the Israelite, or the Jews that knew that they were Israelites, right? Because ultimately they couldn't understand and accept that Yahushua, okay, through the belief on Yahushua through faith, okay, is how all of Israel, the hopeful elect, and the Gentiles will be saved, right? Let their eyes be darkened that they may not see, and bow down their back always. Verse 11, I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? The Most High forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, right? The Gentiles for to provoke them to jealousy, okay? So what it's saying the same thing that it's saying in Deuteronomy, right? He's recalling that that same phrase, okay, provoke them to jealousy. So who is that foolish nation? It's talking about these Gentiles, like it says here. All right. It says, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles to provoke them to jealousy. All right. So that foolish nation, okay, and the people that have not known the Lord is those Gentiles. All right. But that was the point of this lesson. Just going into that, it was something that I came across on my read, and I thought I'd do a lesson on it. Lord's will is edifying and straight to the point, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, Yahweh being double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.